for the sake of achieving office. We're here to help people be elected to Libertarian office as well as educate. That's the key. I'm going to ask for all of you to help me. I am receptive to your ideas, your suggestions, your constructive criticism. I want to hear from you. I am hoping that when I return to Colorado, those at this convention, those who are viewing this, and those who are listening will fill my campaign inbox with their ideas. LibertarianForPresident.com. Thank you.
If we want to regain freedom in this country, it's very important that we remember how we lost it. And how we lost it was that our politicians told us that we needed to give up freedom for security, or to help the poor, or to save the environment. In other words, what they were saying is, freedom is wonderful, but it just doesn't work in the real world. And if we don't understand that, we're going to have a very hard time addressing the questions that people have. So I would like to invite all of you who think that you like the idea of freedom, but maybe it doesn't work, to go to my website, votemary2008.com, votemary2008.com, and click through to the free download version of my book, Healing Our World. Healing Our World has hundreds, literally hundreds of different references about showing how liberty works in the best testing ground at all, the only one that counts, the real world. Everything we've talked about today, banking, inflation, the economy, healthcare, it's all been done somewhere. And the information is all in Healing Our World. So what I'd like to invite you to do is go there and check it out and convince yourself that not only is liberty a good idea in principle, but it's a good idea in fact. And finally, I'd like to thank the convention organizers, and I'd like to thank all the attendees for taking such good care of us. I think this was one of the conventions in which we all, I think, felt very well cared for. So thank you for your support, and we hope to, all of us, we hope that you will consider us carefully and give us your vote. Thank you.
Also, thank all the organizers of this event. Bear in mind that representative government holds the American people in civic adolescence. And how we go from adolescence to adulthood is by taking responsibility. And so if we want to become civic adults, we have to take responsibility. And that's exactly what lawmaking is all about. As I pointed out last night, Cicero defined freedom, and freedom is the actionable part of liberty. Defined freedom as sharing and power. Well, in a democracy, power is lawmaking. That's the central power of government. And so if the American people are ever going to be sharing in power, and they only do it at the local and state level in a number of states, they do not do it at the federal level. If they are ever going to share power, they're going to have to become lawmakers. And that's what the framers of the Constitution neglected to do. That's where we lost our freedom. We never really had participation in power, and the National Mission for Democracy is what will bring that about. All of the things we stand for can only be enacted by the people. The Congress will never do it because they don't want you to share their power. I have a book called Citizen Power. We have cards. We didn't bring enough copies, but we have cards where you can get it at citizen-power.us. It's a paperback. It explains it in great detail how you can acquire this power. And when you do, believe me, you will see major portions of the principles of the libertarian power, principles that you hold, become law in the United States of America and throughout the world. Because what this is about is changing the paradigm of human governance. Thank you very much.
Fellow libertarians, I started my campaign 2 years ago. My first real public appearance was October 2006 Libertarian Party of New Hampshire State Convention. I had a joint appearance with one of the real Democratic presidential candidates. We sort of debated in another format. Mike, it's great to see you here. Welcome on board. I know it really is. I know we've had a lot of discussion about possibilities and futures. There have been some big changes in American people. It used to be that young people and African Americans didn't vote very much. That's not true anymore. The young people are our opportunity. African Americans are our opportunity. It's wonderful to have Chris Bennett, our leading vice presidential candidate here. Chris, thank you for being here. What can I tell you though? Let's look at a little reality. I campaigned for Barry Goldwater. Goldwater desegregated the armed forces, started the Air National Guard of his home state. Barry Goldwater brought Planned Parenthood to his home state. Barry Goldwater said the Christian right should be kicked out of the Republican Party. If Barry Goldwater were alive today, he'd be a left libertarian. I know I've heard talk about, gee, those Ron Paul supporters. I haven't talked about it. I've done large-scale direct mail. I've talked to people. My message to you is, yes, they may come on board, but we'd better treat that as found money, something wonderful that happens. If we build a campaign on it, we're looking at a potential disaster. What's my message? I've got a real campaign. Go to my website, look at campaign, look at appearances, look at my huge volunteer staff, look at how many women are among my campaign leaders, look at how many young people like Jake Porter, my chief of staff, who isn't old enough to drink yet, are on my campaign staff. I'm using the internet, and that's our secret weapon.
Dr. Phillies, and thank you to all of the candidates who have come here and joined us at the Heartland Libertarian Conference. You all did a wonderful job presenting your opinions and presenting the platform of the Libertarian Party. So let's give them a round of applause. And I'd also like to thank everyone who has joined us here at the Heartland Libertarian Conference, sponsored by the Atlas Liberty Political Action Committee and supported by LPstuff.com. For those of you listening on KCXL, both over the air and online, please stay tuned for a brief post-debate program. This debate was presented by Missouri Viewpoints. Visit MissouriViewpoints.com to watch Missouri's Public Affairs television program online. Also, we have a little treat for everybody still here. We hear a lot about straw polls. Guess what? We have our own straw poll.